In movies, everyone talks about the actors. Some people talk about the director, but nobody talks about the writer. Well, today I'm here to change all that. So come with me and let's talk about today's writer. So, today's writer is Paul Leeming. You can see down here. So Paul Leeming is basically my partner in crime in a lot of films, and we've done, well, especially for me, all of my big films has been with Paul, and I think some of his more major projects has been with me. So I guess I know a little bit more about him than most people. Of course, he's very famous among some people as the first person in Japan with the Red 1 camera, and he's becoming very well known as the developer of the Panasonic LUT series, the Leeming LUT 1 and Leeming LUT Pro series. But today I'd like to talk about something that most people don't know about him, is his writing. And actually, as a writer, I really look up to and respect a lot of his writing. So I'm really happy to be able to talk about this today. So without further ado, let's get into it. So for those of you who don't know, I do a greatest hits and a lesser known deep track, and then finally a new track. So the first one, the best film or most famous film, is probably, well, arguably you could say it's our Silent Hill Stolen Heart film, but as this is a fan film I'm going to discount that, and I'd like to talk about the film that took us to the Cannes Film Festival, the film that took us to the Toronto International Film Festival, and that would be, here it is, An American Piano. Now, An American Piano, which is the story of, it's a true story. It's a story of a young Japanese girl during World War II in Japan who was practicing the piano and inadvertently started playing the piano for a POW camp which was neighbour to her house. And over the course of the film, it's a short film, about 20 minutes, you get to see how they impact on each other's lives. Now technically I'm listed as the writer of An American Piano and Paul is not, so why am I including it here? Now I did write the first draft of this screenplay, but Paul did write the shooting draft. So he is technically one of the writers, although I guess a ghost writer. And what he put into it, I think, is, well, he definitely made it a lot cheaper, because the script that I had written had a lot of explosions. So he made it a lot cheaper, and I think he brought in a lot of heart and sensibility. And that's something I'd like to talk about a little bit more. So his next film, and this is the lesser known one, I'm going to do it as a couple, but I want to focus on his series. Now first we've got Here Birth, and the second one I would like to talk about, which is actually Paul's first ever film, which is Eve. Now this is a hard sci-fi film which is about the story between a man and his robot lover, and unfortunately they're sort of coming to the end of their romance because his robot lover is starting to, well, she's getting a little bit old and her program is starting to break down a bit. So it's kind of an allusion to the breakdown of a marriage. It's quite an interesting and difficult look at about relationships. And then Birth is about the birth of AI, and what would you do if you were the witness to the birth of AI. And so as you can see, like, both of these, while they are hard sci-fi films, unlike something like Blade Runner, which is a great film, but his films really do focus on the emotion, and they really do touch the heart. So the theme is developing. So the next one I'd like to talk about his latest film, which is called Pieces of Eight. Now, Pieces of Eight, which he developed from an earlier idea which I had for the sequel to Stolen Heart. It's called Pieces of Eight, and it's the beginning of a series of films. And in this one, it's a horror film, and it sort of tells the tale of, well, it tells a sort of eternity's loop tale of purgatory and a young woman who made a very grave decision and is now living with the consequences of that. So, looking at this brief view of Paul's work, what can we tell about him as a writer? Now, I think the biggest themes that's coming out, one is that they touch the heart, and the other, as you see with the hard sci-fi, they make you think, and that's something that Paul really embodies. It's his philosophy behind his company, Visceral Psyche. He wants to make your body react viscerally to his work, and also he wants you to make you think and also move you. So this is the kind of work that Paul writes, and which makes me really happy to be a part of his legacy, I guess. And so I hope you'll go and check out his films. So Eve and Birth are available on his website, visceralpsyche.com, and American Piano, if it's in your area, is available on Amazon Prime. So please check them out, and please check out the rest of the series talking about the writer. There are 3 episodes already, although they haven't used professional sound equipment or lighting, so their quality might be a little bit different, but I think the content's just as good. So looking forward to seeing you again. Please like, comment and subscribe.